This site is for educational purposes only. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyrights Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use. For purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and education.
Like, how are you guys handling this? Because I can't. Like, they are hunting us down like animals. Like, and are you all okay with this? Just because we look this way? Just because of our names? Like, what? I'm so angry. Like, there is so much rage watching those videos of raids in construction sites, like on the street, and by Proud Boys, by white supremacists. They're hunting us down because we look this way, because we speak this way, because we go like. I don't understand how people are still defending this man. Like, I don't get it. Make me understand. Because I can't. I cannot wrap my head around you hunting people down because they look the way they look. Like, what?
It's a shame. And we feel, we can't help but feel for you, coming after Cuban people now. And all I saw during the campaign was Cubans for Trump. I will vote for Donald Trump. Remember that song? And this is not to throw anything in your face because it is bad. It just is bad. Nobody deserves to be treated that way. And I don't know. How do you teach people? There was a lot of people trying to tell y'all what was coming if you chose this man. And a lot of you did. And it's a lot worse than we could have imagined, but we've always imagined the worst. You can't imagine or pinpoint exactly how it's going to go down, but it's not going to be good. And we as in not just black people, but those of us that saw through this administration, we knew, and y'all just didn't listen. You just did not listen. For whatever the reasons are, I think a lot of immigrants come here still tied to the old governmental ideologies and regimes and the ways that their governments were run in their country, and they're just looking for an easier or a lighter version of that, not taking into account that you're coming into a whole different world of government. Like, our government does not function, at least it didn't, the way yours did. But you throw away some of it, but you accept like this dictatorship mentality. And now you're finding out, and it's very sad. But stop coming on here fucking crying. That's the part that makes me angry. You ask if we're okay with that. No, we're not okay with it, but I certainly get angry when I see one of your crying faces coming up on here talking about what we should be doing and we should. No.
Let me tell you something. Let's just get this out the way. Black people are not happy to be seeing what they're seeing. When we say we told you so, it's because we want to remind you that it was your choice. We don't want you blaming us for your mistakes. Don't come over here blaming us for your mistakes. Anytime anybody makes a mistake, you have to be accountable to your own mistakes. That's all we're telling you. So don't come over here trying to blame us, always trying to make black people the scapegoats. We tired of being America's scapegoats. Every time we try to pull out, you try to pull us in. Leave us alone. That's all we're asking you to do. Leave us alone. And it is racist to even think that you should not go through what we went through.
Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying your Sunday. I know I am. Church was amazing. Now I'm back home in my chill zone, just relaxing on a beautiful Sunday. But while I'm sitting out here relaxing, I was thinking about something I heard over the weekend, and that was that the Supreme Court upheld Donald Trump stripping away the humanitarian parole from 500,000 people. Yep. They gave him the right. They gave him the green light. So now he gets to strip away the humanitarian parole rights from these people that was protecting them from deportation. But the even more interesting part of that story is that guess who was like the first country that fell up under that? The first country that was listed was Cuba. So isn't that ironic? Because Cubans in Florida alone, Florida statewide, they voted for Trump 70%. They voted 70% Trump. Now nationwide, the American Cubans, they voted 54% in favor of Trump. Right? So you had this overwhelmingly support from the American Cubans. That means overwhelmingly they voted and ushered this season in upon themselves. And that precious humanitarian parole was something that they held near and dear because it held them above other standards of other immigrants, right? Because they had that status, they didn't have that worry. So they just knew that they were protected as they were going into those booths to vote 70% Trump in Florida. Now, fast forward to today. Trump honors and thanks you for your 70% support, for your 54 nationwide percent support. He honors and thanks you for that overwhelmingly support by stripping away the very thing that kept you here. That kept you not just here, but kept you here safe. So safe to the point that you thought that it would get you special treatment. You thought it would set you aside from the ones that you thought he was talking about. Yeah. It's eerie to the point how much support he had to do this to you. That's the eerie part. You overwhelmingly voted for him to do this to you because you thought you were hiding behind one little title that left you immune to everything that you knew he was going to do. And you can't say you didn't know he was going to do it because he ran on it. Every rally had mass deportation signs all over the freaking place. He never missed a rally. He never did a rally without harping on his his bloody mass deportation. And you better believe it's bloody. It's just not being shown because the tattoos and the body marks that they're showing with these mask-covered ICE agents, look at those tattoos. They're tied to white supremacist groups. He has let his people go on you. That's why it's so quiet. That's why you haven't heard anything from any of them. You know why? They're too busy being sent out on ICE patrol. They are being distributed all throughout the country to be ICE agents. And now they're living their wildest fantasy. I heard one young Cuban woman came on saying they're out here hunting us like animals. They really are. They really are. But what the really sad part about it is 70% in one state, 70% ushered this in. Nationwide, it was still over half of y'all ushered this in, because over half of you were not thinking about your community. Over half of you were not thinking about your people. Over half of you were not thinking about your own families, friends, your communities. You weren't thinking about that. You were thinking about self. You thought you would stay tuckly behind that fence. And it did. They wouldn't. You good because you got here the right way, because you know you got the humanitarian parole. That ain't your word. So you went ahead and you voted because you thought it would not personally affect you, but you did not care how it would affect your people, your community.
Does learning to shoot and edit videos feel like you're trying to solve one of these? You're not alone. Everyone wants to be a content creator nowadays, but learning the skills takes.
And now your community is, lashing out at us when they really should be lashing out at you. You brought this upon them. We didn't do it. We voted against 92, 80. We voted against mass deportations. Where y'all went as far as voting 70% for mass deportations. Let that sink in. And once y'all deal with those inside traitors, once y'all handle them, once y'all show that smoke to them, maybe we will listen to something you have directed toward us. But right now, while you sitting up here getting your anger and your resentment and your frustration and your hatred out, and you just lashing it out at us, we ain't even trying to hear it. It's not affecting us. It's not piercing 1 inch, because we know. It's just like they said, when you know you didn't do something to a person, when you know you ain't did nothing to a person, you don't have to worry about how that person feel about you. We know we didn't do this to y'all. Our numbers speak for themselves. Can you say the same? Can you say the same? And if you can't, you need to redirect your energy. You need to redirect your comments. You need to redirect your anger. This was a self-inflicted wound from your community. Our community did everything we could to protect you from this. But you're so much better than we are. You're so much more. We can't tell you anything because you're too close to whiteness to listen to us. So you went out there on that limb and they chopped it off. So what you need to do, you need to get together with your own people. You need to quit getting on social media embarrassing yourselves, because everybody with half a peace of mind know this was a self-inflicted wound. And until you got that energy for them, don't come over here. Don't come over here. Don't come over here, because you're going to get your feelings hurt. But what you need to do is y'all need to go do some serious self-reflecting, and y'all need to deal with y'all own inner hate toward each other, because it was a lack of care. It was a lack of love for their own that let them go in there and voted with the way they voted. So until y'all deal with that, don't worry about what's going on around here. We ain't worried about it. We were the only one. We were the only group that went in unanimously, overwhelmingly, 10 toes downly. We were the only ones. We ain't got time for it. We don't even want to hear it. We out here line dancing. We out here stocking up. We out here doing what we got to do. So I suggest y'all do the same. Anyway, before I get out of here, just one quick question. Cubans, the one that was voting for Donald Trump, yeah. Is it great again yet? Just asking for a friend.
You think you should be given a pass. You think you special because you don't want to go through nothing that black people went through. You think you should be exempt because the color of your skin. You're thinking in your mind, why should we have to suffer the things that black people suffered? We're not black. See, we can see through the whole thing. We're not dumb. We are awake now. We're not just woke. We are awake. We have fully awakened to the nonsense. Period. And the only thing we want to do as FBAs is to be left alone. We clocked out. Okay? Simple as that. We clocked out. And we're not going to be clocking in for a very long time. And when we do clock back in, it's going to be for us. It's going to be for the FBA family. When we do come back in and lock back in, we're coming with a whole new agenda. And that agenda is called self-alliance. That's what it's about. We're going to take care of ourselves. We're going to take care of our black children, our black mamas, our black daddies, our black family members, and our black nation. And that's just the way it's going to be. It's a changing of the guards now. We're going to become gatekeepers. We're going to hold down the gates. We opened up the gates and we invited everybody in. And the only thing they did was come in, take, steal, and tear down everything. So we are closing the gates now. That's just the way it is. But don't gaslight us and blame us for anything. We have nothing to do with it. Just like the leaders of your people say, black people problems is not our problems. So we are saying to you, your problem is not our problem. So don't blame us for anything. We do not smile and dance and enjoy what you're going through because we went through it. We went through the same thing and 10 times, 100 times worser. So how could we be happy looking at you knowing that we went through worser things? What makes you special? That you don't have to suffer. What makes you special? Your color of your skin? Because you're not black? You don't want black problems? That's what you're basically telling us. When we were going through our problems, nobody was there. We went through it. Nobody didn't come help us when we was being lynched and hung from trees. Nobody didn't come save us. We didn't have a savior. We had to save ourselves. Okay? We had to save ourselves by the grace of God that I'm not going to allow them to be completely destroyed. That's the only thing we had on our side. So just like we went through what we went through, you have to go through what you go through. And that will prove to the world how strong you are as a people. So be a strong people. Stand up and be willing to go through wherever you got to go through. Stand your ground. Stand on business. That's it. You made the mistake. You voted for the wrong person. And that's just it. You thought that, no, those black people over there, they're the ones that got to worry about all of these things. We ain't got to worry about it. Only thing we have to do is to assimilate. Assimilate and then turn our back on them. Because as long as you turn your back on black people, you're good in this country. That's what everybody thinks. As long as you turn your back on black people, then you can get on the good side. You can get on the right side. You can get on the white side. And you can enjoy all the perks. It's funny to see all of these nationality of people that left us stranded on a desert island. And we were smart enough, intelligent enough, and strong enough to turn our island into a paradise. And now you want us to jump off our stranded island and jump into the water full of sharks to save you when you left us on a deserted island. That's not how this works. You're being selfish. Stop being selfish. It is selfish for you to demand help from black people. It is selfish of you to think that you shouldn't go through what we went through because of the color of your skin. It is selfish. So stop being selfish. Handle your business. Leave us alone. Handle your business. You said you didn't need us. Every time you got mad, you said, we don't need you. We don't need you. How many times have we heard that? We don't need you. We don't need black people. We don't need you. Who are you? You're not special. We don't need you. You can't even help yourselves. We don't need you. How many times have we heard that as a people? But now that the stuff didn't hit the fan, now all of a sudden you want to switch up? That ain't how it goes. And that's not how it's going to go.
You need to redirect your energy. You need to redirect your comments. You need to redirect your anger. This was a self-inflicted wound from your community. Our community did everything we could to protect you from this. But you know, you're so much better than we are. You know, you're so much more. We can't tell you anything because, you know, you're too close to whiteness to listen to us. So you went out there on that limb and they chopped it off. So what you need to do, you need to get together with your own people. You need to quit getting on social media embarrassing yourselves, because everybody with half a peace of mind know this was a self-inflicted wound. And until you got that energy for them, don't come over here. Don't come over here. Don't come over here, because you're going to get your feelings hurt. But what you need to do is y'all need to go do some serious self-reflecting, and y'all need to deal with y'all own inner hate toward each other, because it was a lack of care. It was a lack of love for their own that let them go in there and voted with the way they voted. So until y'all deal with that, don't worry about what's going on around here. We ain't worried about it. We were the only one. We were the only group that went in unanimously, overwhelmingly, 10 toes downly. We were the only ones. We ain't got time for it. We don't even want to hear it. We out here line dancing. We out here stocking up. We out here doing what we got to do. So I suggest y'all do the same. Anyway, before I get out of here, just one quick question. You know, Cubans, the one that was voting for Donald Trump, yeah. Is it great again yet? Just asking for a friend.